All right, friends, we're going to move on in our saint book. We're going to do a saint today called Saint Thomas Aquinas. But before we do that, let's review all the ones we've done so far. So we did Saint Teresa of Calcutta. She helped the sick and the poor in India. Saint Mary was Jesus's mother. Saint Matthew was one of Jesus's apostles, and he wrote a gospel, which is the story of Jesus. Saint Jerome translated the Bible from one language to another. Saint Francis of Assisi loved God's animals and God's creation. Saint Faustina, she had a vision of Jesus, and he showed her how to be an example of mercy to others. Saint Teresa of Avila, she had terrible headaches, and she taught people all about prayer. Saint Luke, he was one of the people that wrote one of the Gospels too. He wrote the story of when Jesus was born. Saint Pope John Paul II was the Pope, the leader of the church, and he loved the youth, which are the young people and the children. Saint Therese of Lisieux, she's our TK saint. We have her hanging up in the classroom. She said, every little thing you can do it for God's kingdom. You can do it for Jesus. Saint Martin de Porres, he helped people that were sick, and he took care of all kinds of people and treated everyone with respect. Saint Frances Cabrini, she started schools and orphanages. Let's see, who else? Saint Margaret of Scotland, she was married to the King of Scotland, and she helped him change the laws of the court. Saint Elizabeth of Hungary, remember, she liked to help the sick and the poor, and her husband's mother didn't like it. And remember, she asked her, what's in your basket? And she said, roses. And there was really bread in there, but when she opened it up, the roses poured out. Saint Cecilia loved music. Saint Francis Xavier, he enjoyed sports and school, and he baptized people in India and Japan. Saint Nicholas, he showed us how to give, right? Saint Anne, this is Mary's mother, Jesus's grandmother. Saint Juan Diego, Mary asked him to build a church for her, right? And she appeared on his tilma. Who else do we have? Saint Genevieve. Saint Genevieve helped the people of Paris. Remember, they were being under attack, and she helped them, and she sailed a boat to get the people grain so they could make bread. Saint Elizabeth Ann Seton, she started the first Catholic schools in the United States. We drew ourselves in our uniform, and today we have Saint Thomas Aquinas. So here he is. Saint Thomas Aquinas loved to write books and study. Saint Thomas Aquinas always wanted to be a priest, but his family tried to stop him. So listen to what his family did. He wanted to preach and teach as Saint Dominic had done. About the year 1245, when Thomas went to live with the Dominicans, so a group of priests, his two brothers, you know what they did? They brought him back to their castle and locked him away for 2 years. So his family didn't want him to be a priest. Isn't that horrible? And they locked him away in the castle for 2 years. The Pope himself heard about Thomas and commanded Thomas's family to not stand in his way. So he said, Thomas's family, you cannot lock him in a castle. You need to let him become a priest if he wants to. Thomas was very wise and also very holy, very close to God. In Latin, his nickname was Dr. Angelicus, which means the teacher who is like an angel. Thomas wrote the most famous theology books of all time. So he wrote books about religion and God and prayer. All priests and seminarians, those who are studying to become a priest, study his books. He also wrote beautiful poems and music. We still sing some of his songs in church. When God asked Thomas what reward he wanted, Thomas said, Lord, I only want to be with you. And he died in 1274. So he's very close to God. People study St. Thomas Aquinas today. And lots of things that he taught and he wrote about, people still find very important. So I'm going to let you color him today however you'd like. You don't have to copy mine, but you can always copy mine if you want to. Do his halo. He's a little bit bald on the very top of his head, but he's got some hair around here. He's got a feather because a long time ago, people wrote with like a feather quill. You can call it a quill. It's like a pen that the end of the feather is pointy, the pointy part. You dip it in ink, and then you use that to write. His little sleeve is poking out. Decide what color you want his shoes to be. Maybe I'll do green shoes. Decide what color you want around his clothes here. So I can't believe that his family wouldn't let him be a priest, and they locked him into the castle for 2 years. Can you imagine that? But I bet while he was in there, what do you think he did? Do you think he prayed? Do you think he talked to God? I think so. There he is. And then decide what color you want, and you can do his writing. Remember, we trace our letters. We don't scribble on top of them. ST stands for saint. And then his name, Thomas Aquinas. And then you can press pause if you need to finish, and we're done.